Hello, let me tell you the story of the shepherd boy and the wolf. Once upon a time, there was a little shepherd boy who would take his flock of sheep to the hill to graze the fresh green grass near. The hill area was quite infamous for a wolf's menace who used to attack the sheep grazing there. However, the villagers of the nearby area were well aware of the wolf and always ready to help anyone crying out for help. The shepherd boy's master told him about the helping nature of the villagers. One day, the shepherd boy got really bored while sitting idle on the hillside and watching his flock of sheep grazing out there. So he came up with an idea to amuse himself. Suddenly, he cried out loudly for help. "Wolf! Wolf! The wolf is raiding my sheep!" Hearing that, the villagers came running toward the hillside and found out there was no wolf. The shepherd boy successfully fooled the villagers and laughed out loud heartily to the villagers' dismay. The villagers became really angry and told the shepherd boy not to call out for help when there was no wolf in reality. After a few days, the shepherd boy again called out for help. "Wolf! Wolf! The wolf is raiding my sheep!" And, to his amusement, the villagers again rushed to the hillside to help him drive the wolf away. But they discovered that they got fooled by the shepherd boy for the second time in a row. They generally became very upset and angry. They warned the little boy not to raise a false alarm ever again. However, the shepherd boy actually saw a wolf the very next day when he was on the hillside grazing his flock of sheep. Being alarmed and afraid, he called out for help as loudly as he could. "Wolf! Wolf!" Alas, nobody came to his rescue, as they assumed the shepherd boy was unnecessarily crying for help just to fool them like earlier. However, when the boy didn't return to the village till evening, they went up to the hillside to find him. They discovered that the little boy was weeping. Upon being asked what happened, he replied, "There really was a wolf here. The flock has scattered. I cried out, 'Wolf, why didn't you come?' The villagers responded that they assumed this time he was also trying to prank them, raising a false alarm about the wolf. Hence, they did not come to his aid. So the little shepherd boy learned his lesson and promised to never lie again. Moral of the story: once a liar, always a liar. The moral of the boy who cried wolf story is that no one believes a liar even when he is telling the truth. Every child should know this story and shall always remember the moral throughout their lives.